Hi everyone, my name is Monique.
And I'm Naveen from Before You Play, and today we are back with another top 10. We felt it was appropriate and time to do another one because it's been a little while. So
It's been a few weeks.
few weeks.
Yeah.
People like them, we like them, so we're going to do it today.
But this is an exciting one
Yeah.
because today we're going to be discussing our most anticipated games of 2023. So we are pretty much almost in May. So this is a bit overdue.
Yep.
And so in today's list, we're going to be including games that probably already released. Because this is our list that we had created at the start of the year.
That's right, yeah. So we kind of waited a couple months because we wanted to see what else would kind of be announced, and we felt like, okay, we're early May, late April. This is about the time to do this kind of video for us.
Yes. But before we get into our list, this video is sponsored by the World Series of Board Gaming. If you've never heard of the World Series of Board Gaming, this is an event that's taking place on September 24th through the 28th in Las Vegas, Nevada, and it is a large board gaming tournament.
Yeah, this is the second one. Last year was the inaugural one. This is the second annual World Series of Board Gaming. There's going to be $40,000 in cash prizes guaranteed. So if you're attending and you're competing in the tournaments, you have the opportunity to potentially win this money.
That's right. And so there are a lot of different options of ticketing depending on what kind of events you want to enter or how many you want to enter. So the way that it works is there are ring events and there are also outer ring events. And you can purchase tickets depending on how many ring events you want to compete in. And it's not going to be the same game that you play multiple times, from what I understand.
Yeah, you're going to be competing on a multitude of different games kind of throughout the hobby.
I think there are 16 games on the list. And if you're a follower of our channel, then you probably would think it's a pretty good list because there are a lot of games in there that we typically either cover or have in our own collection. And so I think that's kind of the pull in this. It's you have to have a diverse skill set.
To be a well-rounded board gamer.
Yes. If you are interested, though, in a specific game tournaments, they have outer ring events just for that one game that you think that you're very, very good at. You can compete in that one game. So other than that, it's actually pretty much like a mini convention in itself. There's a lot of open play. There's a game library. There are exhibitors. And if you're bringing along a guest who doesn't want to participate in the actual tournament, then there is a separate ticket that doesn't have to include those events.
Makes sense. Now, if any of this is of interest to you, there are going to be links in the description down below, which you can check out at your leisure.
And we do want to mention that the stay and play packages, we believe, are limited and will probably sell out. So if you'd like to go, if you're thinking about going and you need to get, hotel rates and stuff, this is probably the cheapest option for you to bundle them together. So thank you so much to the World Series of Board Gaming for sponsoring this video.
All right, so now on to our list. So how exactly did we find out what games came out in 2023? Well, of course, we used BGG.
Yes.
You can go to the Advanced tab in the search feature, and we only put 2023 releases. So we don't know technically if some of these are going to be kickstarted or what, but we kind of try to curate this to games that we think are going to be actually released in 2023.
From what we understand, these games are releasing this year or may already have been released. I also want to mention that this is not fully inclusive. There are a lot of games that don't get announced until midway through the year because a lot of them release at Gen Con or Essen. And so, of course, if we don't know about it, it's not going to be on the list.
Makes sense.
And just for full disclosure, we tend to cover a lot of games throughout the year, depending on interest and when they're released. And so if we end up covering any of the games on this list, none of that had an impact on our decision for what games made the list. All right, so number 10. Now, this is a combined list, so this is 10 entries total. And so this is a game that I actually chose for the list. It is a flip and write game designed by Stephen Armini and published by Right Stuff Games, and it is called Flip Town.
Nice.
So because these games are not yet released, by the way, we're not going to have a whole lot of footage. This is all from their websites and such. But from what we understand, this is a flip and write game that is set in like a Western-style world that uses a poker deck of cards.
Yeah.
And it's on BGG, it says that it's an open world style flip and write. I'm just very intrigued by the fact that it's designed by Stephen Armini, who designed Animal Kingdoms,
which is a game I really enjoy.
Yes.
We actually covered it on the channel, so if you're interested in that game, I'll leave a link up here that you can check out. Plays really well at all player counts. We really like the design of that game. So anytime now he's coming out with a game, I'm definitely interested into seeing kind of what has evolved in terms of his creative process.
Yeah, it sounds like he designs like the shorter but really kind of interesting mechanics-wise.
Yeah, I think the playtime on it says like 30 minutes, which like sometimes you just want to play a 30-minute game. You know? A quick in, quick out. So.
And you can play it solo. And the thing about it is I really like roll and writes, flip and writes and such. And I feel like at this point, now that we kind of went through the big roll and write explosion of, I don't even remember what year that was.
Like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
It's kind of difficult to innovate on that. And this sounds innovative.
I'm always willing to try like a roll and writes though, like just to see, because like there's only like a couple like super heavy or dense roll and writes.
Yes, that's true.
Most of them are like quick in, quick out, and you can kind of surmise like, do you really enjoy this game or not within like a play or two.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I think I'm a little bit addicted to them.
Yeah.
But this doesn't sound too heavy, but it sounds unique.
Yeah.
And so I'm really looking forward to trying it. That is our number 10, Flip Town.
Moving on to our number 9. This game is designed by Rainer Knizia and published by Cosmos. It is called My Island. This is a follow-up kind of standalone sequel to My City, which is a game that Monique and I have been playing recently. We've played through the first 3 chapters. We're actually playing it on our Patreon as a live stream. We're kind of trying to do it about once a month.
Yeah, a monthly live stream.
Yeah, and so we've been really enjoying our plays of it. We've now played technically 9 of the 24
I think
games
so.
of it. Yeah, so
it's getting hard.
It's getting harder.
For anybody who's not familiar with My City, it's a legacy style game where you're basically trying to build a city. But every time you play, things change and it makes the game harder. And there's a bit of a story to it. And so it sounds like My Island is pretty much the same concept, except you're on an island.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, we don't know if it's going to be like new mechanisms or anything like that. But from what we understand, it's going to be very similar in the sense that like you're going to be playing through this campaign of I think 24 scenarios once again. And so we really enjoyed our 9 plays so far of My City. So we're assuming that we can kind of transfer our excitement for that and interest over to this new one.
Yes.
My
so
Island.
If you enjoy My City, same goes for you, I suppose. And that is going to be a running theme, I think, of this list. We have a lot of comeback titles.
Comebacks.
The theme is called, we've named the theme of our list.
Don't call it a comeback.
That's right.
LL Cool J, yeah. And that is our number 9, My Island.
All right, moving on to number 8. Our number 8 is a 2-player only game designed by Luc Raymond and published by Le Scorpion Masqué, and it's called Sky Team. So I found this game to sound very interesting because it is a limited communication, 2-player only, fully cooperative game, and we tend to really enjoy those types of games.
We do like those ones, yeah.
Naveen gets really into them.
Those limited communication for some reason is a mechanism that I really enjoy.
It's exciting.
It is,
and
yeah.
He tries to push the rules, the boundaries of the
Take
rules.
it to the edge
as far as he can.
Communication.
/ cheating. So in this game, one player plays as a pilot and the other one is a co-pilot, and your goal is together to just land the plane. And I don't know if it's a campaign style game, but it only plays in 15 minutes. So you're assigning dice, manipulating and assigning dice. And I just thought that that theme sounds really cool.
Yeah, so I guess like you're going from like airport to airport and you're using these dice to I don't exactly know the mechanism, but how can you get a full experience in 15 minutes? Like, is it one of those games that you play it a couple times and like, okay, like now I solved the puzzle? Or is it going to be something that kind of unlocks and like develops over the course of multiple plays?
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
Just the concept of it sounds innovative. So that is one that we're looking forward to. Our number 8, Sky Team.
Our number 7 game, this was designed by Ben Rossett and Matthew O'Malley and published by Renegade Game Studios. And this is part of that theme that we're talking about. It's kind of a follow-up game, but a standalone.
Don't call it a comeback.
Yeah, this is The Search for Lost Species. So this is kind of very similar from what we understand to The Search for Planet X, which is a deduction game that I and both of us really, really enjoy.
Yeah.
So the theme of this particular one is there is a lost species that is on the brink, and it's your job as a scientist to try to figure out which one it is so that you can then do the right work to try to prevent that species from going extinct.
Nice.
So from what we understand, it's going to have an app as well to help you kind of deduce different things, just like the Search for Planet X does. And purely based off of the designers and my love for the Search for Planet X, this one is on my list for sure, 100%.
We really love the first game. That's like our favorite strictly only deduction.
Pure deduction.
Pure deduction. You know, there are a lot of games that include deduction in them, such as Alchemist. I really love that game. But this one is pure deduction. And so I really don't know where they're going to go with it.
Yeah,
You know?
like, is it just going to be a reskin, or are they going to incorporate different things? Because
don't know.
Search for Planet X is a very, very good game. Actually, if you watched our last top 10, we actually debated, do we want to keep Alchemist or the Search for Planet X as our only deduction game that we kept?
On the island
So,
that we'll
on
be
the
stranded
island.
on.
Yeah.
So,
So,
that was
Search
in
for
the
Lost
running.
Species, maybe that'll trump. I don't know. Who
I
knows?
don't know.
We'll have to find out and let you know.
And surprisingly, I think it was on Kickstarter this year.
Yeah.
And so this year, Kickstarter releasing this year.
Or like towards the end of last year,
unheard of.
a quick turnaround. So
Yeah.
it's more like a pre-order, which is good. So that is our number 7, The Search for Lost Species.
All right, moving on to number 6. We have a game designed by Uwe Rosenberg, and it's published by Spielworks, and it is a game called Oranienburger Canal. Now, we don't know if or when this game is going to be coming to North America, so that is the only thing, but we were intrigued by it because, of course, we're at the very end of our Uwe Rosenberg series, and this is the new release.
It is, yeah. I think it technically was like showcased at Essen last year. We didn't get a chance to see it.
It was like a little table somewhere off to the side.
Spielworks is kind of known for just having a small print run, and then potentially, if it gets picked up, then it goes further. But sometimes, like, it just is what it is. So we don't know, like you said, if it's coming to the U.S. or when it will be, but hopefully we can get our hands on it.
Yes, if you've never heard of this game before, it is a 2-player only game. It plays in about 45 to 90 minutes, and so that's kind of what intrigued me about the game. It's actually 1 to 2 players. I believe there's a solo mode, but the last 2-player only game that we'd played was Fields of Arle, which was a bigger, heavier game that plays.
We enjoyed it.
Yeah, we enjoyed it. So I'm very curious to see, what this has to offer. It looks like it has an abstract component because you're building up industries and infrastructure in the city, in the canal area, right? It's funny, as we kind of went through our Uwe Rosenberg series, I feel like because it was taking so long, new titles were getting released, and we were like trying to play catch up this whole time, and now this is the very last one to play catch up with, and so I hope we get to play it. But we'll see.
Yeah, hopefully it comes to the U.S. We don't know quite when we're going to have our chance to play this game. I don't think we know anybody that has it. So hopefully we can report back in the future with the playthrough.
So that is our number 6, Oranienburger Canal.
Well, we are now at the halfway point in the list, our number 5 game that we are anticipating for this year. This is another re-implementation or a sequel, a third sequel, really. This is designed by Alexander Pfister and published by Eggert Spiele, and it is called Great Western Trail New Zealand. So we had your standard Great Western Trail that so many people know, like, and love. Then you have also Great Western Trail Argentina, which incorporated farmers as new workers. And then now this new one is going to incorporate sheep instead of cows, I would assume. Yeah, so we don't quite know what the mechanism of the sheep is going to be in this. That changes things from the previous 2 predecessors. But of course, when we knew that this was going to be a trilogy of games, that we wanted to play each and every one of them.
Yeah, we knew we had to play them all. And by the way, for anybody who's on Board Game Arena, they have a port of Great Western Trail, the base game over there, that's really good. It plays really well async. So if you've never played the original and you want to see what it's all about, then we encourage you to check it out at some point because we both really enjoy the game. It was a game that really grew on me over time.
Yeah.
The first couple of times I played it, for some reason, it's the Western theme, maybe. I don't know what it is. But over time, the more you play it, the more the different strategies unfold. And so it's exciting to know that there are more in the series.
Yeah, so we haven't done a full-on review for Argentina. Hopefully we can do that sometime in the near future. And then, of course, try to wrap up the trilogy by playing this one and talking about it as well. So that is our number 5. That is Great Western Trail New Zealand.
All right, moving on to our number 4. This is a game that was designed by S.J. McDonald and Shem Phillips, and of course published by Garphill Games. This is Scholars of the South Tigris. So first we had the West Kingdom trilogy.
The North Sea.
The North Sea. Yeah. We are running out of cardinal directions because now we are in the South region.
That's right.
And so last year there was Wayfarers, which is a game that I feel like we just recently discovered.
Yeah, and we played it very late last year.
Yes, late last year. And before that, we had done the entire West Kingdom trilogy, which we both really enjoyed. And so it seems like the South Tigris series is a little bit heavier than the West Kingdom series.
It feels like it, yeah.
It feels
At least that one last game, Wayfarers was fairly dense. That one there was a lot of different paths to victory. I remember the first time when we played it, it was like, wow, that's a lot to keep account of.
It's
and
tough, like
which direction to go on.
Trying to figure out the game, just in general. Like, how do I score points in this game? How do I do this?
It was definitely like,
tough.
I understand what you've taught me, but now with that knowledge, I don't know which direction to go here. So
yes.
We do enjoy those kind of games, though, and we really enjoyed that
puzzle.
Yeah, puzzle, exactly.
And so this is the next in the South Tigris series. It was on Kickstarter. I'm really curious to know how this one plays. I know that you're going to be translating manuscripts, and it sounds like it's going to be very much of the same kind of unique puzzly game that the trilogy seems to be about. It follows the same kind of symbology, which I really appreciate about just the Garphill games titles in general. And so, that is something that I'm really curious to play.
Yeah, same.
And our number 4, this is Scholars of the South Tigris.
Our number 3 most anticipated game for 2023. This is designed by Helge Ostertag, and it's published by both Capstone as well as Feuerland Spiele. This is another comeback kind of game, and it's called Age of Innovations. So this one is a standalone game that's set in the Terra Mystica kind of universe. Gaia Project is another game that we both really enjoy that was kind of modeled after Terra Mystica and kind of reskinned and rethemed. But I prefer the Terra Mystica theme over the Gaia Project theme.
But the mechanics in Gaia Project.
But the mechanics slightly more in Gaia Project. So now with this kind of information and this much playtesting, I'm wondering, like, what does this game do to set up itself apart from what I really enjoyed about both Terra Mystica as well as Gaia Project?
Yeah, and if you're not familiar with any of these titles, Terra Mystica was the game that came out first. And when we were first getting into the hobby, that was the game that everybody was like, don't play this if you haven't played many games yet, because it's very complicated. And so then we actually played Terra Mystica before Gaia Project. We really, really liked it. And then we played Gaia Project and fell in love with that one instead. So it's very, very similar in gameplay. We just feel like Gaia Project was a 2.0 of that. And then after that, they came out with Terra Nova, which is
kind of the lighter version.
Like a lighter, more streamlined, I guess, version of Terra Mystica is what they say. But I hear it's much, much lighter. And now I hear that Age of Innovation is supposed to be the same kind of meaty gameplay. What kind of gameplay or how similar it's going to be to the other games, we have no idea.
Yeah, I'm curious how it's going to play at 2, because one of the criticisms is with the neighboring, if you know Terra Mystica, the neighboring bonuses, it kind of favors a game with 3 or 4 players. In a 2-player game, you're not going to really want to cozy up against your opponent and trying to get the benefits off of each other. So I
like doing that.
Yeah,
Naveen avoids that.
So I'm curious to see, like, if they're gonna kind of slim down some maps and kind of change, like, the way that the game is kind of structured or foundationally kind of played to accommodate for a 2-player experience. So anyway, this is a game that was long overdue from what we hear, and it is our number 3, Age of Innovation.
All right, moving on to our final 2 titles for 2023. Our number 2 is an expansion, and this is an expansion that I assume so many people are anticipating because it is designed by Matthias Wige and published by, is it Capstone and Feuerland? And it is the expansion for Ark Nova. I believe it's called Aquarius. It's so new-ish that there's no thumbnail for it. So I don't know what the box cover is going to look like.
Right.
But yes, this is an expansion for Ark Nova, which was a smash hit of 2021/2022.
Yeah, it was our favorite game of last year.
Yes.
Because we played it early in 2022, but I think it was technically a 2021 release.
Right. If you've never played this game before, it is a big box game about building out your own zoo. And so there's a lot thematically that has to do with saving species, endangered species and stuff like that. And it's just a nice animal themed game, a really beautiful one.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people's criticism of it is long, but when I'm playing it doesn't feel as long because I'm constantly engaged in kind of the action selection and kind of the action conveyor belt mechanism of the game. What's interesting, or what sounds interesting about this particular expansion, it's going to change up your starting actions. So everybody's going to have the same actions like you do in regular Ark Nova, but at the very beginning of the game, you get to draft and kind of tailor your actions so that they're asymmetric compared to everybody else. Asymmetry is something that Monique really enjoys in games, and so I know you're gonna try to figure it all out and and beat the crap out of me out of it.
I will say I am looking forward to trying it solo. I've heard that Ark Nova is really good solo, and I've not tried it at all. So if we're able to get our hands on this expansion, I will probably do a solo playthrough of it because I don't know how willing Naveen is to do another 2-player.
After our last one, I love that game, so I would would definitely do it on camera. If you have not seen our other or playthrough of Ark Nova, we'll leave a link up here, which you can check out. Just skip the scoring. just move on from there. Just see the mechanisms.
That part.
Yeah.
And so that is the penultimate game on our list. And up until this point, over the past few months, whenever somebody would ask us what our number one most anticipated game of 2023 was, we would say that one. Until we learned about our number one, which is the ultimate comeback.
Yes.
Right?
So yeah, our number one most anticipated game of 2023, and it should be coming out shortly in just a couple months. This is designed by Jamie Stegmaier and published by Stonemaier Games, and it is called Expeditions.
Yes.
So this is marketed as the sequel to Scythe, but it's not going to have the same mechanisms as Scythe.
It's standalone.
It's going to be standalone, but it takes place in the Scythe kind of world. The background, my understanding of the game is there's a meteorite that has kind of crashed into the taiga forest, and now everybody is rushing towards this meteorite for riches, basically, and trying to exploit it.
Greedy.
So this is going to be a card-driven game with some engine building and resource management. I'm a really big fan of Scythe, and so when I heard this is a follow-up sequel, but not kind of a reskinning of the original game, I knew it's going to be one that I really, really want to play.
Yes, and you bet we're going to do a playthrough of this game.
Yep, we'll be doing it.
It even says sequel to Scythe on the box, right? It has all the same kind of art style. It's in the same world. It has mechs as well, I believe.
Yeah, I'm curious how it's going to play at 2. Now, Scythe is a game that we really enjoy at 4+.
At 7?
At 7, Monique really liked it at the full 7. I think it was okay if everybody knows what they're doing. But for me, Scythe is really, really good at 4, 5, maybe even 6. And so I'm curious to see, is that going to be an issue with the 2-player game for this particular one, or if it's just going to be kind of balanced out and nice and smooth for a 2-player account?
We will find out, and we'll definitely let you know. So there you have it. That is our number one most anticipated game / comeback for 2023, Expeditions. And so that is our full list. You see what we mean? Lots of comebacks. A lot of really good titles from the past that are
reskinnings,
that are getting reinvented, I suppose.
I think we're scared of new, maybe. And we like something about the comfort of kind of the old.
I don't know about that. Speak for yourself.
I'm just saying it seems like it. I don't know if that's actually true.
We enjoy new titles, but we also really, really cherish and hold on to the older titles. We don't let go of older games. We hold on to them and we keep them, until we're tired of them, which doesn't have an end date. So so we really, really enjoy when we see older titles kind of pop up again. So anyway, we would love to hear what your thoughts are on the titles that we chose and what your most anticipated games for 2023 are. Please let us know in the comments down below, because we always love reading your lists. And again, thank you so much to the World Series of Board Gaming for sponsoring this video. We've included a link to their website in the description below in case you would like to know more information about the event.
Now, thank you all so much for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to see more videos like this in the future, please consider subscribing.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.